Hello and welcome to Marco on Markets. This channel is for educational purposes only and shares my personal opinions and investment process. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial product advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any investment. Always do your own research and consider obtaining advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Good morning, it's Friday, 21st of August, 2026, 9:59 a.m. Market is about to open. Today we're expecting it to open down by about 0.3%. The overnight market for the US was S&P 500 down 0.87%, Dow Jones down by 1.32%, and NASDAQ down by 1%. So pretty decent falls there. Not decent, but large, I should say, is the word I was looking for. Let's have a look to see if it's opened yet. I'll just have a look at our watch list. It's gone 10 o'clock now. So yeah, on my approved list, we've got pretty much a sea of red there. So generally down across the board. We'll go through the market as a whole. We'll just see how the all odds opens down 0.13% so far. If that's updated, I'll come back to that shortly. I'm not sure if that's updated yet because it's got a long tale of history there already for the day. So I think that's still just from yesterday. Okay, we'll look at the ASX 200, the top losers so far today. TLX Super Retail Group. We've got Zip there. We'll go through them all. Telix Pharmaceuticals down by 5.4%. We've got Super Retail Group down by 3.56%. Now they did have a huge gain yesterday, so giving a little bit back today or profit taking. We've also got Charter Hall. They do real estate development and operations. They're down 3.62%. Zip down 3.26%. They also had a large increase yesterday and giving a little bit back. So that can tend to happen when a share price goes up quite dramatically in a day. You may see people go, well, we'll take a bit of profit and they'll take some of their gains off the table. And finally, we've got Sonic Healthcare, which is down 3.2%. On the upside, we have got Bega's made the list again. That's sort of not one that I've watched. I actually didn't realize that Bega was on the ASX. There you go. So leading the way, we've got 5.4% with NRW Holdings, who do construction and engineering. Regis Resources, who do gold, is up 4.5%. Codan Limited, who do electrical equipment and parts, are up 3.23%. Vault Minerals are up 2%. They do gold. And finally, we've got Bega Cheese up 2.55%, who obviously do food processing and cheese. They were on the list yesterday. I'll just have a little look at their chart. Let's do a 5-year. Okay, so they've gone sideways. They've had a decline here over a couple of years and then reached back to what looks like normal levels at around that $5.60 mark. And they've gone sideways for what looks like a couple of years. And then, yeah, we've had a little bit of a dip and now a bit of an incline. It'll be interesting to see if it retreats to that sort of $6 level or if it starts to make new highs. I wonder what is in these reports. So they released yesterday. Okay, so that's why they had an increase yesterday. So the investors must have enjoyed or liked the report that they gave. So I have to do a bit of research on that one, just because I'm a bit of a foodie. So let's have a look at if there's any. So I didn't get a chance to do all this first this morning before the start. I'll just see if there's any ASX any ASX companies reporting today. So I'll just do that via ChatGPT. Any ASX companies reporting today. And it's just a quick way of getting data. AI is a very good assistant. So we've got NRO Group, we've got BSP Financial, TPG Telecom, and MaxiPARTS. All right, well, what we might do is just create a little watch list. Watch lists. Let's just do a new one just for today, Friday 21/8. And let's call it reporting. So, okay, it doesn't like any special characters. Fair enough. Okay, and then we'll just pick up those codes, EGG, and let's just see, have a look at them all as a group. Okay, add. Next one is BLF. So BSP Financial Group, that's a bank. Interesting, I've not heard of that one before, so we're always learning. It'll be interesting to know how big they are. TPG, I know that one, and MaxiPARTS. So let's do MaxiPARTS. Okay, we'll add that to list. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to create watch lists. Most bank broking platforms are similar. Some are easier, some are more clicky, I suppose. And then if we just go to that watch list that we created now, we'll turn the others off. And then we can have a look. So all these companies reported today. The BFL was been no movement. The volume there is very low, so that's a very small, company. Well, it's actually classified as a mid cap, so it'd be interesting to have a look at that company, their share price and what they actually do. Okay, so they're banking throughout Papua New Guinea and the Asian Pacific region. Interesting that they're based here in Australia, whether their head office is here or maybe they've just got a subsidiary here. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that. EGG also hardly any movement there. MaxiTran. What is that company actually? MaxiPARTS actually. So it's auto parts and motorcycle parts and trucks. Sorry, that's up 6.8%. So the market like that, and TPG, which is one of our telecommunication providers here in Australia, is up 1.7%. You have to be careful when you are buying shares. If you're looking to trade or do short-term positions, when you see a company that has a very low volume, that's just can be alarming, because that means that if you want to ever get out, like sell your shares, you might have to wait, because there might not be any people in like waiting to buy or sell shares. So, I know we're only 10 minutes in, but this company's only had 6 trades for the day with a total value of, $6,000 and 864 units. In fact, yesterday, their total volume was 24,000 units. So if we have a little calculator up, their share prices are around, let's call it $8. Sorry, we're going to do 24,000. So they only traded $193,000 worth of shares yesterday, dollar value. And you can see with a company that has a low volume, when you have a look at market depth, and what market depth is it's a chart essentially of people that are willing to buy and people that are willing to sell their shares. So at the moment, this company, BSP Financial Group, which is a bank that does Papua New Guinea and some of the Asian countries, there's only 26 trades. I mean, they could be unique, but sometimes people will put multiple trades on at different levels. But let's assume they're 26 different people. So you got 26 different people prepared to buy 19,000 shares. And these are the different prices that they're willing to pay. So there's one person willing to buy 93 shares, which has a value of $700 at this price of $7.98. They don't want to pay any more than that. They're happy to pay less than that, of course. And then you've got two people here willing to buy at $7.97. So that's made up, and they give you the breakdown here. So there's one person that wants to buy 44 units or $350 worth, and another person wanting to buy 121 shares at $900. And then conversely, you've got the same on the other side, $8 per share. Sorry, $8.06 per share. There's one person willing to sell their 87 shares at $700, and there's another person willing to sell 9,872 shares, which is around $79,000 worth of shares at the $8.07 level. So the risk that happens here is this person in particular I'll focus on, because for that person to sell all these shares may take hours or even potentially days because of the volume that is going through. So this person's trying to sell effectively, I'm going to say 40% of the volume from the previous day in one day. So I'll get the actual percentage because my brain's not really working. Oh yeah, 40.8%. So I was pretty close. Yeah, 40% of that volume all in one day. So that, that's a pretty big ask. And at the moment, the share price is at $7.96. So it's got to move up to $8.07, which is a pretty big spread before that can go through. And when it does go through, then you've got potentially people only buying 93 units or 165 units, and this one's got 3,000 and 4,000 units. So it's going to take a while for this person to be able to execute their trade. The only time it will go through quickly is if you have perhaps a larger investor come in and they just want to buy the shares no matter what, and they might, let's say they want to buy $100,000 worth, they'll take out this level, they'll take out that level, and they'll take out some of $8.10 levels. So you just need to be very careful, and you'll hear this term called liquidity, how liquid a stock is. So let's just contrast this to, say, a bigger company. Let's do CBA, for example. I know that's an extreme, going from one extreme to another in terms of banks, but I just want to show you the difference there. So if we go into depth and trades, so the CBA's had 5,000 individual trades today so far in 13 minutes, okay? And their total value for those 5,000 trades has been $137 million, or a number of units traded is 837,000. So if we have a look at this chart, you can see there's a massive difference between that. And as a company is more liquid, the difference in the buy and sell price is a lot closer. So if I just refresh this, and it changes very quickly, you'll see that currently someone's willing to buy at 155.96 and someone's willing to sell at 155.89. And if I refresh that, see how it's moved straight away. And likewise with the share price, if I click on refresh, it's 155.97. Now it's 92. Now it's 85. Now it's 91. So you can see every second it's changing. Whereas if you come up here to BSP Financial Group, it's $7.96. It's still $7.96. And in fact, the number of trades has not changed. And in contrast, have a look at this. So this is from when I first went in, it was 5,515 or 837,000 units or 137 million. And now it's 139 million. It's 845,000 units and it's 5,885 trades. So it's done like 300 trades in the last, let's call it 30 seconds to 1 minute, however long that was between the refreshes. So if you ever want to sell your Commonwealth Bank shares, you pretty much will sell them straight away because there's, a large number of buyers and sellers. You've got heaps of buyers here. You've got 1,143 buyers, which may be actually less people or entities buying because some people put on what's called like a spread of buying prices. So if they want to buy, say, $1 million worth of Commonwealth, they probably won't just put it on at 155.86. They'll put some on at that. They'll put some on at 85, 84, 83. And you'll see that sometimes where there's this repeating quantity of value at every price level because they want to buy as cheap as possible. And if they split the trade up, they can do that way. It does take longer to do, although the people doing that will often have software that will allow them to put the trade on quite quickly without too much effort. But in terms of fulfilling that whole parcel, they will most likely need to play with that. Unless it's a falling market, then they'll get all their price levels and they'll have their entire trade. Let's have a look at the market total. So yeah, we have got that minus 0.24% drop in, and I think the indicator was 0.32. So it's just a little bit better than expected at the very second. Just quickly, I want to have a look at, let's just have a quick look at this BSP Financial Group. We'll go to their news and announcements and we'll have a look at their report. So you can just download that from here. So their first half financial 2026 results, BSP. So they say they've got a strong performance underpinned by diverse earnings while continuing to invest for growth. Their profits are, now this seems to be in a different currency. Oh, and they've converted it here. So their statutory net profit after tax was $203 million, up 8.4%. and their revenue was $629 million, up 17%. There's something odd about that. You've got a company that's turned over $620 million and their profit is $203 million. So I just want to put that into perspective. 203 divided by 620, that's a 32% net profit margin after tax. I'm not sure how that works. That seems odd, like it's actually hard for companies to just make, say, a 10% profit margin after tax. So I'm not sure how they get so high, unless perhaps they've had some monies in from, maybe they made a big profit on sale of an asset, or maybe governments gave them money to run their operation or something. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this. So they say they're continuing to manage costs through their investment phase of their multi-year modernizing for growth program. The CTI ratio of 43.8% remains within their range of 42 to 45%. Their credit quality remains sound, with delinquency rates slightly improving and the provision to loan ratio stable. Okay, let's have a look at their net interest margin is 6.3%, which is much, much higher than, say, the banks that we see here in Australia. I think NAB the other day was released at, I think, 1.79%, I'm going to say, and Commonwealth Bank was, I think, at 2.05%, which was down from 2.08%, and this entity's 6.3%, so that's really high. Their return on equities 23.9%. That also sounds quite high. What else have we got here? I just want to see their actual table of, I've been logged out, so I'll just log back in. I want to see their actual financials, which you can either do in a report format. BSP. Right, yeah, so even after that 10 minutes, it's still 6 trades. So it's, something to be very careful of. In most broking platforms, there'll be a company and financials, and you can read their financials just from the website. So if we just click into financials, this is their balance sheet, and then you've got the earnings here. I don't know, there's something odd about this table because the revenues, there's nothing up here. I'm not sure if that's because it's a foreign entity, perhaps, or something like that. Let's just go back to the announcements and we'll get the accounts out. Which one did I get? Half year accounts. Oh, that's the same one. So we'll go to the investor presentation. I'll get that one out as well, just in case that's the one I'm after. All right, here we go. So let's find their profit and loss statement. So interest income expressed in K millions. So that's 1.24 billion K millions. So let's do a conversion. What have we got? 24 K millions. in AUD. Okay, so PNG. I'm assuming that's where this company is situated. I might just do a little cheat here. Which one have we got? Is it this one? This one. Let's do revenue in AUD and profit. And profit. I might just do this in Copilot if that's okay. Okay. Just because I've got more credits in Copilot. Revenue and profit in AUD. Okay, so then revenue was 578 million and their profit was 190 million Australian dollars. I'll just ask for some highlights. So this is how you can use ChatGPT. So their net profit increased by 8.4%. Their revenue's up 17%. Their net interest income grew by 15.4%. Customer deposits, they've declined slightly. Total assets, an increase of 5.2 million, 5.2%. Okay, so things that investors might miss is that the Pacific markets contributions grew strongly, delivering K 166 million NPAT versus 155 million NPAT last year. Their electronic banking fee income continued to expand. The asset quality remains stable. Customer deposits grew faster than the loans. Right. Anyway, there you go. So that's BSP Financial. I've learnt something new today. It's not a company I would touch. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in it. Do your own research. It's a small company. One of the biggest risks I see here is just the liquidity. Do you want to invest in a company that's, done $6,000 worth of trades in, half an hour on market open, compared to a more liquid company? Let's have a look at the watch list again for those companies that reported today, and let's just see how they moved. Okay, so it's up 0.25%, that BFL, which is the BSP Financial Group. EGG, which is down 13.5% now. That's Enro Group, so Enero Group, which is marketing and advertising. It's a micro cap. It's down now 16%, so that's really bouncing around. And yeah, they don't have a very nice looking share price graph here. If we just go back, 5 years, so from their peak to trough, or peak till today, they're down 94%. That's not really a company I would touch. It's got that general falling vibe to it. You'd have to look at all the financials as well, look at the market depth. You know, it's a low trading stock as well, so it's tend to bounce around. And also, once shares get to, you know, the low 10s and 20 cents, every 1 cent makes a big difference. So they're down 5 cents, but they're down 16%. So MaxiPARTS 6.8%. That looks like it was well received. And TPG up 3.9%. Let's have a look at my portfolio. Rightio, so we've got CBA, I'm down another 0.19% today. So that's down 11.92%. I've had that for just on 2 weeks now. So probably a mistake I've made here is buying 2 banks at the same time. So you should always try and spread. Not only don't just put all your money in one basket, but you probably shouldn't also put all your money in one stock type. So maybe one bank at a time is enough. One retailer at a time is enough, for example. So Coles is up 0.13, so down overall 4% now. Westpac is flat today, and that's down 10.9%. And similar to what was that other company called? Sorry, it escapes me. Super Retail Group. Yesterday they put on about, I'm going to say 15%, maybe 18%. It was quite significant. And then they've given some back this morning. And as I mentioned yesterday, sometimes related companies or companies from the same market category. In this case, this is a consumer goods. I think it's non-discretionary. Discretionary consumer goods is down 6.3%. Yesterday it put on, I think, 12 or 13%, and now it's given half of that back, and that's now down 65% and probably closer to 61% after adjusting for dividends. So there'll be no trade there for me today unless something dramatic happens. Let's just have a look at Super Retail Group and see how they are going. So they gave back 5% of yesterday's gain, and that tends to happen. All right. Well, on that note, have a great Friday. I'll try and do a market wrap this afternoon, and if I don't, have a great weekend. Thanks for supporting the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.